they just bought a bunch of people beer and paid for hamburgers, and everybody could be in the movie.
That was the
Texas.
70s.
It's bananas. We should totally watch it.
Well, Zach was just asking, do you have access to that?
It's
Oh,
on.
no.
It's probably on Amazon or Netflix.
We'd have to find an equivalent
Yeah,
film.
what would be the match for that?
To be determined.
All right, take it.
DVD. We'll look into it.
I think
Well,
it's time for.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's still fight night, we can make a thing. Gotta make it so right, gotta get second thing. Gotta make a thing, cause you gotta make a movie. Gotta make it say gang, make it groovy. Gotta make a thing, bang, just a tank bang. Any say, get a bang, get a bang, critic. Gotta say critic, 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 critic. Get a critic, get a bang, cause his name is Jim.
I like that one.
Fresh beats.
That's a lot of mumbling.
That's a lot of, yeah.
Mumblecore.
You hear Jim really clearly.
That's all that matters.
So let's go. We went through the numbers already a little bit. So John Wick, the budget was like 20 million.
Now, hang on. You said that, but on Amber's notes it says 100 million. Is there a discrepancy or an error?
On the production budget for John
error.
Wick 4 is 100 million.
That was an error on my part.
Gotcha.
It's very uncharacteristic of me.
Yes. So John Wick 4 cost 100 million to make.
Gotcha.
But John Wick 1 only between 20 and 30. It grossed about opening weekend only 14.4 million. Total US gross was 43 million, and the worldwide gross was 87 million. But because it's such a cheap movie, not bad, because it's the first one. And I'm sure rentals and streaming and everything after the other movies came out. Yeah. And the runtime, I think Amber mentioned this already, in 1 hour and 41 minutes. So what do the critics think? Well, John Wick, it received general positive reviews on the website Rotten Tomatoes. The film has an 86% rating from the 219 critics that rated it, and has an average score of 6.9.
What?
So
that's low. John Wick with a 6.9.
John Wick 6.9 for the 10.
Is this when it came out, or
this is when it came out?
Okay,
this is when it came out. But it on Metacritic, it's a little different. Metacritic, the score was 68 out of 100. But it's only based on 40 critics. But the audience score was 8.1. So the audience score is definitely higher.
Yeah, it makes a little more sense.
Yeah. So Metacritic. So I love me some Metacritic names. So I picked. This is going to be a hard one to pick because all the names are really good, and Steve put some good names in here too. So it's going to be hard to pick Steve's. I
can't look at the thing.
Yeah, look for the palindrome. So Metacritic, this first guy is Metacane, and he was not a fan of John Wick. John Wick is colon cancer. Hollywood needs to untuck its head from its ass. This is KR's worst ever movie. Seriously, he was better in Dracula, his version, which was also garbage.
That was Steve.
He gave it a 0. The next one is The Russianator. These names are great. One of the most original action movies to come out in recent history. This flick makes good use of Keanu Reeves' badass performance, amazing stunts, and great mafia world. This is to be explored in the sequel. So that was The Russianator. He gave it a 9. And this is Karate Kiddo. He said, or she said, or the kid said, I enjoyed most of this movie. I felt like much of the fighting was too choreographed. It didn't seem like they were actually fighting. Keanu Reeves' acting saved the movie, though. His heartache and determination were evident. All in all, a good movie. But being a fighter myself, I know that some of those moves were so planned out that any real fighter would have torn his rotator cuff in a few seconds.
I didn't believe.
So now I think we should guess the guess now rather than having to try to remember.
Yeah, let's guess now before. So Metacane, who thought John Wick was colon cancer, the Russianator, who loved the movie, and Karate Kiddo, who thought it was good, but the fighting wasn't realistic.
It feels like Steve did too.
Maybe I wrote all 3 of them. Well done again, Jim. Bravo.
Very, very
You're
good.
so good at picking out
Oh,
these reviews.
The only reason I'm gonna guess number one is because Dracula is such a stretch, and Steve mentioned it earlier.
I am leaning towards the first one myself.
First one for both of you?
Yeah.
And Steve, yours was?
Karate Kiddo.
Damn it.
Rotator.
Oh,
Someday.
nice.
Rotator cuff. I thought, dude, the colon cancer was a good. Well done, Jim, because that's something I would say.
Yeah.
Well
I just couldn't believe that someone would dislike it that much. I'm like,
yeah, right.
I know.
What's wrong with that person?
And I forgot that Dracula even existed until you said it. So I'm like, oh.
That's
People
been the
talk
go-to
shit about the
Keanu can act movie for a long time.
You know, people talk shit about that movie. I like that movie. I thought it was really good. Yeah, his part was a little weird because he was like, Dracula, can't, whatever.
I'm British now.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go.
You don't know that that's not how it went.